The Riddle of the Ruby Killings. London, 1887. The thick London fog swirled as Detective Magnus Rolf knelt beside the lifeless form of Edward Northcott, a prominent member of Parliament. At first glance, it appeared to be a simple case of natural causes, but Rolf's keen eyes caught sight of something amiss. Northcott's pocket watch had stopped at precisely 9:47 p.m. Curious, Rolf muttered, carefully examining the ornate timepiece. As he tilted it towards the gaslight, he noticed a faint sheen of crimson on the watch face. What significance might the specific time of 9:47 hold? Consider any symbolic or numerical meanings. 2 nights later, Rolf stood over the body of Lady Eliza Pemberton, a renowned socialite, in her sumptuous Mayfair townhouse. The scene was eerily similar. Peaceful repose, a stopped pocket watch at 9:47 p.m., and a faint trace of ruby-red residue. "This is no mere coincidence," Rolf said, his brow furrowed in concentration. He turned to his associate, Dr. Hartmann. "The killer is sending us a message. We must decipher it before more lives are claimed. What potential connections might exist between the 2 victims? Consider their social standing and any shared affiliations." Rolf's investigation led him to the archives of the Royal Society, where he pored over old membership ledgers and meeting minutes. Both Northcott and Pemberton were members, and had recently voted against a controversial proposal put forth by a brilliant but eccentric young scientist named Edmund Blackwood. Blackwood, the archivist murmured, was utterly convinced his revolutionary theories would change the very nature of time itself. The Society rejected his work, with great finality, I'm afraid. What kind of theories might Blackwood have proposed that were so radical they were rejected by the scientific establishment? Searching Pemberton's residence, Rolf discovered a peculiar item, a small brass gear intricately engraved with a sequence of numbers. 9:47-12-28-3, he read aloud. "Another message from our killer, no doubt." Hartmann examined the gear closely. The positions on a clock, perhaps? But what do they signify? What might the numbers on the gear represent in terms of a clock or timepiece? How could they connect to the previous murders? Rolf's persistence paid off when a 3rd body was discovered, that of Sir Henry Wainwright, another Society member. This time, the detective arrived just in time to prevent the deadly tea from being consumed. "Don't touch that cup," he shouted, startling the would-be victim. How did Rolf know to intervene at this precise moment? What clue had he uncovered to predict the killer's next move? Interrogating Blackwood's young assistant, Rolf learned that the disgraced scientist had been obsessed with proving the inherent flaws in the way society measured time. He believed the Royal Society was suppressing his work out of sheer ignorance. The boy revealed, eyes downcast. Could the apprentice be hiding something? What role might he play in the unfolding mystery? Rolf and Hartmann spent long hours poring over the engraved gear, attempting to decipher its true meaning. The positions on a clock face, Hartmann mused, but what did they signify? The hour, minute, and second? Rolf shook his head. "No, my friend. I believe these numbers represent something far more precise and deadly." What could the specific numbers on the gear represent in the context of Blackwood's rejected theories about time? As the investigation continued, Rolf realized that the murders were not merely acts of revenge, but a twisted demonstration of Blackwood's theories. Each victim had been killed at the exact same time, 9:47 p.m., with the killer precisely timing their demise to prove a deadly point. "Blackwood believed time was an illusion," Rolf murmured, "and he's using these deaths to show us the truth." How might the specific timing of the murders be related to Blackwood's revolutionary theories about the nature of time? With the Society's annual banquet fast approaching, Rolf knew the killer's next target would be the organization's president, Lord Wakefield. Racing against the clock, the detective worked frantically to uncover the final pieces of the puzzle before another life was claimed. What additional clues or evidence might Rolf and Hartman need to identify the true mastermind behind the killings and prevent the next attack? In a tense confrontation at the banquet hall, Rolf exposed the truth. Blackwood had not acted alone. His complex scheme required the complicity of a secret society of like-minded individuals who shared his radical views on the nature of time. Each murder, Rolf declared, was a gear in your grand mechanism, but the clock has run out of time. How did the specific time of 9:47 p.m. serve as the key to unraveling the killers' identities and their connection to Blackwood's rejected theories? Rolf delved deeper into Blackwood's background, uncovering a history of rejection and humiliation at the hands of the scientific establishment. They refused to even consider his work, the detective explained, dismissing it as the ravings of a madman. How might Blackwood's personal experiences with rejection and marginalization have fueled his obsession with proving the flaws in conventional timekeeping? Carefully examining the engraved gear, Rolf and Hartman realized the numbers weren't just a code. They corresponded to the precise positioning of the gear's teeth. Each one represents a member of the society who secretly supported Blackwood's work, Rolf deduced. How could the positioning of the gear's teeth be used to identify the co-conspirators hidden within the Royal Society? As the annual banquet drew nearer, Rolf knew they were running out of time to stop the killer's final, devastating attack. Blackwood has set this all in motion, the detective lamented. We must find a way to unravel his intricate mechanism before it's too late. What strategies or resources might Rolf and Hartman employ to race against the clock and prevent the looming disaster? Just as Rolf and Hartman thought they had pieced together Blackwood's plan, a shocking revelation came to light. The young apprentice was not merely an unwitting pawn, but a key co-conspirator in the plot. Time is the true master, the boy declared, and Blackwood has shown us how to bend it to our will. How might the apprentice's involvement change the dynamics of the investigation and the final confrontation with the killers? Rolf and Hartman's examination of Blackwood's workshop uncovered the centerpiece of the scientist's theories, a remarkable perpetual motion device that appeared to defy the laws of physics. It's not just a timepiece, Rolf realized, but a physical embodiment of his beliefs about the nature of time itself. How could Blackwood's revolutionary perpetual motion machine be connected to the coded messages and the timing of the murders? As the banquet hall descended into chaos, Rolf knew they had only one chance to stop Blackwood's final, devastating plan. I must get that machine, he told Hartman, and use it to unravel the entire conspiracy. What risks might Rolf have to take in order to seize control of Blackwood's perpetual motion device and prevent the ultimate tragedy? In a dramatic showdown, Rolf confronted Blackwood and the secret society of co-conspirators, the perpetual motion machine ticking ominously in the background. You've proven nothing, the detective declared, except the depths of your own madness. How might Rolf use Blackwood's own creation against him to expose the true nature of the killer's scheme? With the perpetual motion machine in his possession, Rolf carefully studied its inner workings, searching for the key to unlocking the coded identities of Blackwood's co-conspirators. The gears, he muttered, they hold the answer. What critical insight might Rolf uncover about the machine's design that provides the final piece of the puzzle? As the last of Blackwood's co-conspirators were apprehended, Rolf reflected on the lesson of the case. Progress cannot be forced through violence and manipulation. True change comes through the power of ideas, not the spilling of innocent blood. What moral dilemmas did the scientists and investigators face in this case, and how did their choices ultimately shape the outcome? In the aftermath, Rolf and Hartman uncovered further evidence that Blackwood's perpetual motion machine held the key to unlocking radical new understandings about the fabric of time itself. His work, for all its darkness, may yet have a profound impact on the future of science, Hartman mused. How might Blackwood's rejected theories, even in the wake of his crimes, go on to influence future scientific breakthroughs and change the way society perceives the nature of time? The time 9:47 p.m. represented far more than just a convenient hour for the murders. When mapped onto a clock face, the numbers formed a precise mathematical sequence that, when properly decoded, revealed the names of the society members who had secretly supported Blackwood's work. The crimson residue on the watches was not just a calling card, it was a component of Blackwood's miniature perpetual motion machine, each gear engraved with a piece of the code. The lesson of this story is, progress, no matter how revolutionary, cannot be forced through violence and manipulation. Those who seek to defy the established order must do so through patience, perseverance, and the power of ideas, not by shedding innocent blood. Even in the wake of darkness, the seeds of true enlightenment may yet take root. 1. How does the story reflect the tension between science, tradition, and societal change in Victorian England? 2. What role does the measurement of time play in the investigation and the killer's motives? 3. Could a similar mystery take place in the modern era, or is it uniquely tied to the historical context? 4. What ethical dilemmas do scientists face when their ideas are rejected by the establishment? 5. How does the interactive storytelling format enhance the audience's engagement and investment in solving the mystery? 6. What are the implications of Blackwood's perpetual motion machine and its potential to redefine our understanding of time? 7. How does the apprentice's betrayal add complexity to the characters and the moral themes of the story? 8. In what ways does Rolf's pursuit of justice and truth reflect the values of the Victorian era? 9. What broader societal issues or critiques might the story be exploring through the lens of this murder mystery? 10. How does the resolution of the case leave room for further exploration of the themes and ideas presented? Share your theories, insights, and reactions in the comments below.